The Royal Grenada Police Force is getting tough with promoters who want to host activities in and around residential areas into the early hours of the morning. In a recent press conference, Commissioner of Police James Clarkson specifically made mention of shows for the season that take place in open pastures or playing fields. The Commissioner says for years residents surrounding these venues have complained and they have a right to quiet.
Now we have to understand that there are people, as I said, complain about these things. Now, there's no consideration for the people who live in the vicinity of where a lot of these things are taking place. We have something called, I show Mr. Martin touching it already, what they call is 10 to 10. The 10 to 10, they tell me it's for the people from outside. Now, outside when you're having these kind of shows, they have specific areas for these things. Everywhere you pass here, people living, people who are sick, who are this thing, have to, you have a show 10 o'clock on a Saturday night. People have to go to church Sunday morning. You have the old people there who have chronic ailments, can't sleep in the same thing. So we said, look, 10 to 4, what's wrong with that? At least that is something that we're used to. We can live with that.
Superintendent of Police Edwin Martin says many times promoters
are putting the cart before the horse. A lot of people are organizing activities before getting the prerequisites in place, getting permission and ensuring that the activity that you want to execute is consistent with what is expected. So, specifically to the issue of 10 to 10, last year we've had issues with the organizer of that show, and I met with him this year as well. And it was explained last year, but certainly it could not have been enforced in the manner that we would have liked to, simply because the organizer, despite putting the cart before the horse, would have gone ahead and made so much arrangements that we had to be flexible. So that show would have been stopped last year around 7 o'clock. I might hasten to indicate that despite the show being closed at 7 o'clock, it had inherent law enforcement issues at that point in time, with people taken to the streets and juve-type style and so forth taking place, though it not being Carnival. It was made clear to the organizer last year that as we move forward into this year and beyond, this is how these events are expected to unfold, and this is the extent to which we'll be willing to grant permissions.
Mr. Martin also spoke on the issue of blockos, which he says sometimes creates a disruption in communities. He explains.
And there seems to be the perception that the police is against and want to stop all blockos. Let me make that clear that this is certainly not so. The situation we are faced with is that the vast majority of applicants wants to execute blockos where the shop is right on the road and the patrons and persons attending are dancing and jumping in the road, causing a hindrance to the free flow of traffic. And we are saying, yes, persons may want to contribute to the spirit and atmosphere of Carnival. Yes, persons may want to capitalize on the atmosphere of Carnival to earn some additional income. And we agree with that. But we are saying that you must select a more appropriate location for this type of event.
The Royal Grenada Police Force says it expects the full cooperation of promoters. For MTV News, I am Ria Murray.